Yo, what is up, guys, and welcome to my review of Cardinal Season 2 Crashdown by Kapashu. And without any more, let's get into this review. So before I get into anything else, on Spyline there's 5 game modes: Zero Build, Explosive, Normal, Everything, which has all Fortnite items and weapons, and then Amalgam. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I googled it, translated it, and I still didn't know how to pronounce it, but this is some pretty cool mechanics. But get in the first POI. Alright, so now I'm going to go over all the POIs. There's like 9, I believe. Correction will be on screen. But first POI I went to is the Epicenter. I'll go in order of which ones I went to. The Epicenter is pretty decent. It has the big mountain in the middle, the original Epicenter stuff, like the lines connecting it between the island and stuff, which is pretty cool. If you go up to the middle mountain, it launches you in the air. There's like a couple of the chests Kapashu has, which is pretty cool. I like it. It's more unique. So I'll give it... I mean, it's storyline really, I'm pretty sure, so I'll give it like a 7 out of 10. Alright, and the next PO I went to was Logger's Lodge. Almost said Logger's Ledge there. But it's a pretty decent POI, standard cabin POI. It has Logger's Ledge, but I didn't really see any like logs or anything around the POI. It might have just been the areas I went around. But something I did realize while going through this POI is there's 2 different stone buildings, which is kind of unique, but both of them are like... The one feels really open, could have added some walls in there, but they both felt like they were copy-pasted. Like both of them, I'm pretty sure, like nearly copy-pasted ones from Mega Metropolis, and then 2 sets of buildings had like the same interiors with like the walls and stuff, same bathroom, bedroom in place, nearly identical props. So I'm gonna have to deduct it. If it had original buildings that weren't like nearly copy-pasted, it would be an 8, but I'm gonna give it a 5. Okay, next POI I visited was Zombified Zenith. Now, if I'm correct, this is like a collab POI with Dubbin by the looks of it. I don't know. It looks a lot like the one that replaced Goopy Grove. I forget the name of it, but it's a pretty good POI. It's definitely one of my favorites. It looks really good. I like the vines on it. It looks like something Dubbin would make, so I think it is the collab POI, but it's getting an 8.5 out of 10 for me. Alright, next is Floating Function. It's a pretty decent POI. If you look at it from the outside at first, it looks pretty decent. It's like a Fortilla style POI, but when you go into the interiors are kind of lacking. The big like main building feels extremely open. It doesn't have like, it has props, but it just still feels empty. I like the thing where it's floor loot only in the POI. That's really cool and unique in my opinion. But it's like, it feels so open inside of the building, so I'm definitely gonna have to lower the score. I'm gonna give it a like 7 because it's a very unique POI. Alright, and next is Cryptic Civilization, one of my favorite POIs. It uses Pandora shipment box like buildings. I think they're like shipping container buildings. It's a smaller POI, but it's pretty nice. It's spread out along this like mountain in the sand biome, only sand biome POI. I just really like it. It has some pretty good interiors. The props around it could use some work, adding a little bit more detail since it's a smaller POI. But I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. It's a pretty decent POI. Okay, next is another one of my favorites, Broken Bricks. It's a destroyed little town, has some destroyed buildings. Now this is the building with the near copy-pasted one from Logger's Lodge, I'm pretty sure, the one I'm in right now. But all the other buildings are absolutely amazing. I love the store buildings, just love the look of the POI overall with all the destroyed roads, terrain like in the middle of like the place. Now there is like a weird like broken rubble chunk in like right behind me right now in the footage, but other than that, it's an amazing POI. I love the interiors and stuff. I love the decorations all around the POI, and it's getting an 8 out of 10. Alright, and next is Vinstech, I believe how you say it. I translated, Google translated it to make sure I was saying it right, but I'm pretty sure it's Vinstech. It's a pretty good POI. It's an IO theme POI. It's pretty decent. Some areas feel a little open, but other than that, the POI feels really nice. I like the interiors. It's a nice IO POI. I'm also a sucker for some IO POIs, so it's getting a solid, I'd say maybe 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Alright, and next is the most unique POI in Cardinal Season 2. Avian Airlines. I absolutely love this POI. I love airport POIs. This is one of like 2. I know Venus Clean has one in Eco Ultra, and then this one. Pretty sure they're the only 2. I love L4 POIs. The interior is amazing. Now some of the roof interior, like upper buildings, like it's one room buildings without any stairs, those could use a little work. The main tower building could use a little bit of work in the interiors, but other than that, it's an absolutely amazing POI. I love the little airstrip. It's a nice looking airstrip. Catpod did really well on it. So this POI is getting a 9 out of 10. Alright, and the last POI to cover is Mega Metropolis. And I gotta say, I do not like this POI. The building I'm currently in, it is like a very open and odd shaped building. The windows are kind of weirdly placed on the stairs. You can see how open it is in the bottom floor. There's a, like apartment hotel building. That was like the best building in the POI. There's a NOMS. There's like other like buildings. I think there's like a couple grocery stores in this building, and this not building, POI. But overall, I just don't really like Mega Metropolis. It's a big POI, but it's not the best. It is a really big POI, and there's some decent buildings, so I'm gonna give it a 5.5 out of 10. And now I'm gonna move on to some of the mechanics and other stuff that I would change in nature. Okay, so correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I only know of like 4 mechanics. It's the custom chests, the skydive volume in the sky, the skydive volume in the middle of the epicenter, and the modes mechanic. Now, with all those mechanics, the skydive in the sky is kind of janky to use. I like the epicenters, like skydive volume that launches you up some. The different chests is pretty unique. You have to hit them instead of like searching them. It's faster. And the modes mechanic is just really good. I like all the different modes Catbot chose, and I'm gonna give mechanics an 8 out of 10. Now on to nature. So I'm gonna go over terrain and nature real quick. So terrain is really good. The modular is definitely my favorite. It looks really nice and clean. Catbot did a really good job with it. Now the normal shark cliff terrain looks pretty decent. Some of the mountains definitely could use like the rotated terrain piece to make it pop a little bit more. The shark cliff terrain reminds me a lot of the Junior Royale terrain, but I'm gonna give nature's a little bit janky. Some trees are like in the ground, but it's pretty decent. I'm gonna give nature a 6 out of 10, and terrain, the modular carries it, so I'm gonna give it like a 7.5 out of 10. All right, and the last category is, before I get to the final rating, is what I would change. So what I would change is I would change up some of the building interiors, like Mega Metropolis, some in Loggers Lodge, some of them at the airport or airlines. Can't think of any other ones I would really change. Most of the interiors are pretty decent. I like the terrain. The nature could use a little bit of work. But other than that, I wouldn't change too much. It's a pretty decent battle royale. And now I'll move on to my final score. All right. So the final rating, I'm gonna give Cardinal Season 2 Crashdown by Kapashu. With all the other scores, it's gonna sound really weird because I've said it multiple times. 7.5. I've said it a lot in this video, but it's a really good VR. I like the uniqueness of the map. I like the unique mechanics, the unique chest idea. Most of the PO is pretty unique. I love the map, so yeah, I'm giving it a 7.5. I'd recommend to play it, and the code will be in the description and title.